crisis does not make a leader, it reveals a leader. In other words, when difficulty shows up, we really show how good or bad of a leader that we really are.
Keep connecting, but really in the sense of, ensure it's happening at all levels, not just with your leadership team.
We need to have wisdom before we act. In a time of crisis, wisdom is more important than expediency. Use wisdom.
The biggest risk you have in a situation that's a crisis like this is that you default to the immediate problem around you and you lose sight of the bigger picture and the longer term. Our values, personal values and company values probably haven't changed too much. With humility comes learning, and learning is absolutely critical in this restructured environment we're all working in now. With humility comes humanity, the ability to, sometimes show up and know that your camera is completely pointed in the wrong direction and your dog showed up in the picture and your child, everybody needs to know it's okay. It's okay. And as a CEO, if you don't show vulnerability and the error-prone reality of who you are, then others aren't going to be comfortable doing it either, and they're going to be trying to hide something. And nobody should have to hide who they are.
Social life through
Okay.
technology.
So that is typical for the home office setting as well. So we have kids sneaking in on video conferences. I'm actually glad it happened because it shows how natural the setting has become. So I was trying to make a cup of coffee. I forgot it in the kitchen. And my son was so kind to bring it up to me in the home office. There is really no time for being political. There's no time for not playing fair. We have to be stronger together as really well aligned with the team and with, in particular, these two values when it comes to honesty, transparency, and openness, I would say as well. And without these, I don't think we would be going through that crisis so well as a team and as a company, I would say.
Are your values more important than your bottom line, or is your bottom line more important than your values? Your team needs to see you now more than they've ever seen you before. So number one is be visual. Do something visual. Find ways to keep yourself in front of the team. I'm zoomed out. Aren't you? Isn't every CEO zoomed out? That's okay. Stay zoomed out because we got to be, number one, visual. Right now people want to be certain that you are in the game with them, that you are working to try to figure out the future. So give clarity when you can, but always give certainty.
Reaching out and creating casual conversation where they don't normally exist. Find ways to be casual, and I do that with very short video calls, very short audio calls, lots of chat.
I think I've been much more careful in choosing my words and in ensuring that my message has well understood. So these questions in terms of, do you understand what I mean? Or is that clear enough?
Your voice has got to be heard. People are more interested in hearing your voice than the words you are saying right now. And so many times as a CEO, we think what we're saying is more important, and it is, but not in a crisis.
We feel the need for more alignment just to make sure we're on the same page.
I think what I have discovered is a greater resolve than ever before. They have become more resourceful in how they are supporting our business. They're extremely resilient in believing that no matter how bad this crisis is, we will be still standing when the company, the world begins to come back. My team is feeling more empowered because I am giving them more of a sense of ownership.
I see this crisis as an accelerant in many ways of really helping the acceptance on both ends, on the sender end and on the receiver end. And I think that will for sure make a tremendous difference on how we work, and it will help us to gain some life quality back that we may have lost a little bit in the jet age. We will see probably much less of travel going on and a lot more home working time.
Actually, now I get a much more democratic amount of feedback from people on these video calls, which I really like. So it's probably, I think that has changed my style a little bit. Be sure not to just find yourself locked in your chair all day long.
Never before have we been able to come together and unify about building and envisioning the future.
Our goal when we come out of this pandemic period is to be better, not get back to the same.
What we do know is everything will be different. So don't wait for everything to be different before you start thinking of how to do business differently. Start thinking of how to do business differently. And then as things begin to clarify, you will be ahead of the rest of the game.
Really live into the future. Don't let the present overwhelm you.
Thinking about the future. Always, every day, you need to think about the future.
Seize the opportunities. I think there's a lot of opportunities that you have. And there's a balance as with any crisis, but I can certainly see on the personal as well as on the professional side, there may be some nuggets that it's just important to remember and not being dragged down.